Hello, everybody. A couple of months ago, I started doing this program that is called My Charge to Nigeria and Nigerians, when I spoke about the Yoruba agitation, Nnamdi Kanu and Sowore. I spoke about other issues that pertain to the life of our country. And today is the first of such program that's going to be discussion. Today, we have decided to turn this into open talk, open discussion. I am here with your lost brother that has been away to Nigeria for some months and now is back, and this is his first appearance on a live television program from Kyiv, Ukraine. And then joining us from Nigeria will be the host of this show, is Israel Balogun. He will be the one questioning, picking our minds today, and maybe in future my mind, about some of these topics that I've raised. But before Israel Balogun, closest to me here, or closer to me here, is Bamishaye Victor, the man that is passionate about Nigerian politics, and no better person could help me discuss and dissect this topic of today, which is dedicated to the video I did on Sowore and Kanu. And the topic is, do you mean whatever they are demonstrating is foolish bravery? Well, we will learn more today. Welcome back to Ukraine.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure. And we came from the sun to the cold, and somehow we are trying to adapt. It shows the powerfulness.
And you are still dressing in the cold like in the sun.
Well, the room is warm enough.
Are you sure your microphone is on?
Okay.
Just make sure it's on.
All right.
Okay,
So
good,
I think
good.
we're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's warm enough.
So you are fine.
Yeah, I am so far. So far, so good. But it's really good to be back, and for how long it lasts, we'll try to enjoy every bit of it.
Well, we'll try to make the maximum use of your presence.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Mr. Israel Balogun, we are waiting for you here to join us, because this is going to be an epic discussion today. And without you leading the show will not happen. So how are you, Mr. Israel?
Good evening, DSA. I am fine, and I'm greeting you, my brother, Dr. Victor Bamishaye.
Thank you.
And I'm extending my greeting to every Nigerians, everybody listening to me from every part of the world. Today's discussion is going to be a kind of discussion that we challenge DSA, challenge Dr. Victor, and then if what these brave guys has done is foolishness, we should rather present something that they think is not foolishness. And I'm not going to be mad, though I hope I'll be merciful, I will receive mercy from them. But today, I discover that Nigeria as it is has suffered from so many things that even if one need to behave foolishly in order to make a point, even if foolishness is all you need to do in order to set something straight, I will not see anything bad in doing so. The reason is simple. We are living in a country where nobody gives honor to law and order. Even within the academic arena, there has never been any time where students peacefully appeal for something that the school will peacefully negotiate with them. Let me even say, Nigerian leader has proved beyond every reasonable doubt that The only language they can hear is the language of violence. They prove it beyond every reasonable doubt. That when you are talking to them according to what is obtained in 21st century, they will never come to table and reason with you. But let me explain what this program is all about to everyone coming up. And I want to plead to you, please share this video and let parents to come and hear this program. It's very important that every Nigerian come online this evening and let us speak out the mind of these men who say Nnamdi Kanu and Sowore have just demonstrated foolish bravery. And sincerely speaking, I am not going to speak for Nnamdi Kanu. I am not going to, because I don't know what he's fighting for. I don't understand his cause. But I'm going to speak for Sowore. And the reason is simple. If Sowore has taken decision to do something about our situation, it's better. The guy is better than those who have never taken any step in doing the same thing. So today's program is about a video that was released by DSA, Dr. Stanley Adelaja, weeks ago, and he was talking about the foolish bravery of Sowore and Nnamdi Kanu. And then that is a point of contention for me. It's a point of agitation. It's a point in which I know it's like these men are far away from the pain and the agony that Nigerians are passing through. That's for me, and I'm saying it now, that it's like this. Yes, it's like you are not in touch with Nigerian problem. You cannot feel the pain of the people firsthand. And so, if anyone who have done such a movement, such a stand, and have come to the point where you say, we really not demand for our good governance, or we cause a revolution, then you think it's a foolishness, I will not accept that. This is what I mean. You don't need to use the word revolution before you can be killed in Nigeria. You don't need it. You don't need to be violent in your protest before you can be shot at. You don't need it. A simple march always turns violence. A simple demonstration of the people always turns violence. And this is the reason why I am challenging DSA. Why would DSA say the bravery of Sowore in particular is foolishness? And this is the reason for this program today. So, the table is set. We can start the discussion. Thank you very much, sir.
Wow, 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 wow. Very strong point. Very strong point you are making. Let me first of all say, frankly speaking, I would not have liked to talk about this topic of Sowore today, knowing that the brother is going through an adversary right now. The brother is going through adversity. He's going through adversity right now. He's going through a tough time. He's going through challenges, crises. He's going through, he's going through tough time. And when somebody is passing through agony, pain, or tough situation like Sowore is passing through, it's not a good time for you to condemn them or for you to speak negative things about them. It's rather the best time for you to encourage them, for you to spur them on in their cause, for you to give them hope. You don't want to discourage someone like that, especially someone like Sowore in particular, that I personally believe in. I believe in him. I believe in his zeal. I believe in his enthusiasm. I have a lot of faith in his capacity. I have a lot of faith in his zeal, in his passion. I have faith in his love for Nigeria, and I don't doubt his commitment to see a better Nigeria. So I think it's a patriotic, I don't doubt his patriotism as well. I think is the only place where we have differences with him will be in our methods and in the method that he has chosen. And also in the fact that he's acting, in my own view, is acting with ignorance. You see, the Bible always tells us that anybody that acts without knowledge is a fool. And the Bible also talks in Proverbs about somebody that is told to carry a message. You are a message carrier and you are running. Those days they didn't have internet. You have to run. But when a man who is supposed to be a message carrier begins to run, but haven't not had the message, and he doesn't have the message, and he's running. By the time you arrive at the place you are supposed to deliver it, and they say, "Where is the message now?" You say, well, I didn't take it." They will just take you and tell you and say, "Go and shoot him. You deserve to die." Because that is what happens when you run with zeal and passion without adequate preparation. And the problem I have with Sowore is not that he has not prepared to some extent with his activism and student unionism. I think that has prepared him enough to do what he's doing exactly now, to rouse the crowd and to be defiant of the rule of law and to do all those things. But it has not prepared him enough to be a nation builder and a ruler of a nation.
Leader.
To be a true, authentic leader. And he has not prepared him for wisdom in building. It has prepared him for tearing down, but not building. He doesn't have the wisdom to build, but he has the zeal to tear down. So that is what that activism has prepared him for. So, and he's showing that very well, demonstrating that to the whole world. But I think he needs some more experience or some more preparation to be able to be a nation builder. That is the quality that I think is not enough for him. And because of that, he's making a whole lot of mistakes and putting a lot of people to jeopardy, including himself and his family. So he's somebody that I respect and I have a lot of sympathy for, and I would like to help him be better if he's ready to listen. And I must say to his credit that he used to call me and we used to discuss, and I used to share some things with him as well. And I must also say to my credit that I try to give him a voice and a platform to speak and share his ideas to the audience that listen to my some platform here. And so, and apart from the ones we have talked publicly, we have also spoken privately with him. So so it's not my enemy. Sowore is not my enemy at all. He's my friend, and he's somebody that I believe in. But that singular act of him going to unite together with Nnamdi Kanu and trying to also, to even meet with him, for me is a problem. That's number one. Secondly, the revolution now that he wants to do, the way he was calling for revolution is different from the way Buhari called for revolution, and it's different from the revolution that Tinubu was talking about. The way he was talking about revolution is the classical revolution, the kind of revolution that we call the Bolshevik revolution. That's the kind of revolution he was calling for, and that is always bloody revolution. The kind of revolution he was calling for is the kind of revolution like in China, like the Chinese Communist revolution. That is the kind of revolution he was talking about. He was talking about civil disobedience. Yeah. But Nigeria, where we are right now, we are not in a place of civil disobedience. And he's calling for change of government, change of power through revolution. That is the kind of thing I don't agree with. And don't tell me that I don't know what revolution means. Believe me, I have led a revolution myself. But the revolution I led is not violence revolution. It's not violence revolution. So the word is not with revolution. It is the means, the kind of revolution. Because when you listen to his rhetorics and the people he was gathering to do that, you could see that I even did. If you see this video, I think we are going to show my video today. You will see that in that video, I warned, and that video was done like 2 months before he was arrested. And I warned him that with the way you are going, Sowore, you are going to attract the attention of DDC or DSS. The Nigerian security system are going to go after you. You don't do revolution like this. And then you don't go and be collaborating with Nnamdi Kanu as well. But what surprises me is that our people don't like the truth. Even people, when I listen to people who are supporting Sowore now, they are painting the picture as if this is just a draconic regime that wants to just came out one day and decided to arrest a good person who wants a change in his country and then put him in prison. As if he didn't do anything. They are not addressing the situation objectively. As if the guy didn't even do anything at all. As if this is just Buhari, dictator. But tell the truth now. At least tell the truth and explain it. At least
led to what?
Don't just what led to the arrest. Don't deny the obvious. You cannot deny that he did something that led to that arrest. Well, Mr. Babeshaye is here. He's more eloquent than myself. And he understands Nigerian politics better than I do. So let him deal with the situation.
That's quite a setup. But one thing I'm very glad for today, DSA, is the fact that you have never hidden your affection for Sowore. And I'm also very appreciative of the fact that someone like Mr. Israel is a very strong supporter of Sowore, and we have so many of them. And this brings to light the fact that we can always disagree and yet be a family.
Same, yeah.
So he doesn't have to agree with me on the basis of my view of Sowore, but that would not lead to me insulting him or abusing him
or becoming enemies.
We just do what we state the fact of the argument.
Yeah. We are still friends.
Yeah, and we are still friends. So I'm very glad for that, and I think it's worth to note, especially to many who are viewing us, that to have different ideas of politics does not equate enmity. Now, to the subject of the day, it is my own opinion, DSA, that Sowore his passion for the country cannot be questioned. His loyalty to the country cannot be questioned. His zeal for the country is without question. But even biblically, it's been said that the labor of fools weary them all, for they do not know how to go to the city. So it is not without zeal, it's not without the wanting of it's not without wanting to do something. It's about knowing the strategic way of how to do it. And so many people would argue that, but DSA, you have always said that we should allow people to do things their own way. But again, we must understand that to every action, there are consequences. And so if one chooses to go his own way, he must understand and be prepared for the consequences. And that's why a great man said that the first lesson a revolutionary must learn is that he is doomed. The first lesson a revolutionary must learn is that he is doomed. And so once a revolutionary learns that, he then understands that to the way he wants to act, there is a consequence. And so the consequence does not come and you begin to cry foul. If you are brave enough to start an action, you must be brave enough to follow through the consequences. Now, here are questions I have. And Mr. Israel, you may listen and probably respond at the appropriate time. If Sowore was elected president, of course he scored about 30,000 votes, which I thought, in my opinion, before and during the election, that he was going to be one of the winners in terms of building momentum for the coming years. But let's say Sowore won that election. Can his followers tell me that in 1 year he will turn around a lot of Nigerians? Can they honestly tell me that? Okay, within that 6 months, a Buhari comes who has lost election and begins to say, since things are still the same, more or less, then a revolution must be what we should do. The question that I have for Sowore and his supporters...
So you are turning the table?
Yes, is that what will he do?
That if Sowore had been the one that won
the election,
and 6 months later,
yes,
the Buhari that has lost now comes and calls for revolution to overthrow his government.
Yes.
What will
Sowore do? We must understand that there are dynamics to government. And the dynamics to government and indeed governance is that no sitting government, nowhere in the world, will they watch dissidents rising to overthrow in any way or form a legitimately elected government. It is clear and it's on paper how Sowore has said many times that the election is not legitimate. But I've never seen for once Sowore going to court to say I challenge the result of this election. Even Atiku with his phantom server went to court. Even Atiku with his claim of certificate or no certificate, of course only dummies believe Buhari does not have a certificate. But even with that idiotic claims, he still went to court to stake his claim. Although it was dismissed in entirety, not even one was agreed with, but he was in court. Sowore was not in court. He is only talking about the rhetorics of how an election was not good. Now that gives him a motive to say, I contested for an election, I lost, but I think I was cheated out, so I need to gain power via revolution. And of course, I am aware that the points they listed out in the bulletin were somewhat deviant or deviated a bit from the words of Sowore himself. But you see, it can be said that what was written on paper was maybe even formulated or brought later or changed. But the words you speak with your mouth are the first evidence to any charge that will be brought against you. The man himself has said so on so many fora how he wants to get the man in Aso Rock out of there.
And send him back
and
to
send him back to Daura.
You can do that, but you do that through elections, through the constitution.
But you are saying that after election when you are calling for a revolution. Now, you have said that an institution of state, the DSS, will cease to exist a day after you start your revolution. What do you mean? You are bringing anarchy that will remove the institution.
Civil disobedience.
Yeah. This one is not civil disobedience. Civil disobedience will not stop the work of DSS. Only anarchy can. Especially, you are not the president. You do not have the right to give authority to DSS. So anything that makes you sure.
Revolution can do that too.
Yeah, that DSS will stop working an institution of state by so date. And it's at the time you are calling for a revolution, it means you are sure of the anarchy that you're about to bring to the state. Not to talk about the fact that you've had meetings with the enemy of state or with an enemy of state.
Yeah, someone that is being accused of treason.
Yes, whose sole aim is clear. And you are saying clearly on video that you have the same objectives. That like you only disagree with Kanu. Yes. And then you want to continue consultation. Then you come into Nigeria and you want to do... Come. Even the Teke Mene Yofasi, as clear as it was on the wall, though a lot of people did not understand it, but the one who was to deliver the message to the king did. And so the DSS who is going to deliver the message to Buhari about national security, they understood the writing on the wall. And somebody will say, but he has not done it yet. Well, I have news for you. In England, yes, that was day before yesterday or yesterday, 5 people were arrested for planning to stage a protest, not a revolution. But that protest was going to cause anarchy. They were arrested for planning. So you cannot always...
In the UK. That our people are using as example of democracy.
So you cannot always want to be like developed nations and then say when 1 or 2 steps that you don't like are taken and it does not favor you now. You now say, oh, they are being despotic. No. There was something that led to something. And so we must not shy away from asking what were the rhetorics that led to his arrest. Now, DSA, I'm sure you know there's a woman called Aisha Yesufu.
Yes.
There's another guy called Fani Kayode.
Yes.
There's another guy called Galadima, Buba Galadima.
Yes.
I can name over 20 people that criticize Obi Ezekwesili, that criticize Buhari night and day. In fact, in his recently constituted economic committee, there are 2 people who criticize him on the basis of issues. And today now, they are the one leading that economic council. So it's not about Soludo, for instance, and one I forgot his full name. So it's not about not wanting dissidents, but the question is, how are you operating? What have you said?
What methods do you want to apply?
Now, in freedom of speech does not guarantee freedom after speech. I cannot look at DSA now and say, DSA, I am going to kill you tomorrow, and say because of that, I have freedom of speech. Now, because of my speech...
No, you could have the freedom of speech, but you must also bear the consequences.
Exactly. So what I have said now does not guarantee now that after I have said, DSA, I'm going to kill you tomorrow, that I will be able to sleep in this house tonight. So I cannot come after you've called the police to come and pick me out now, to come and be saying, but I have freedom of speech now. Now, the first lesson a revolutionary must learn is that he is doomed. Maybe, and that's where I say maybe Sowore is aware before he started. But the question is, the people whom he is carrying along, the people to whom he is calling, are they aware?
No, the people who are now condemning the state and the government and trying to defend him, it's like they are not aware. If they are aware, they would have said, well, that's what he was prepared for, that's what he set for, and he knows the consequences, so let him bear it.
Okay. Somebody is saying here, my very wonderful sister, LND, that this is Sowore's way. That is just like the way DSA went against the pastors, right? And DSA bought the consequence now. That's why all of them are not talking to him today now.
That's why we are no more friends.
That's why they are no longer friends. So he is bought the consequences. Now, but they are not the state. Those pastors are not the state. DSA today cannot say, because he wants to change Nigeria, that I'm going to go to that Nigeria and chase all of them out of that Aso Rock and become president, then we will change Nigeria. Even from this Ukraine, that's where they will pick him.
We don't even go into Nigeria.
Even here,
he's not saying
they will request for his extradition.
Yeah.
Why? Because the state is an institution that you cannot say certain things to in terms of, or that relate to removing them or usurping their power. Or usurping, I don't know, usurping their power. So, we must admit that Sowore has made a mistake with his rhetorics. We cannot shy away from that. Maybe there's a political solution to this at the end of the day.
Amnesty.
Maybe. But if the government was to pursue it to the fullest extent, of the law, he will be imprisoned and there's nothing anybody will do about it.
No, it will be life imprisonment.
Because the videos of what he has said is there. I don't even need to repeat them. Go and check them. The videos are there. There was even one he did with this musician. He was saying things there. Go and listen to them. So the grounds are there. It's not about, is this the first time he's criticizing Buhari? Is this the first time?
And they never arrested him.
He contested throughout an election. He was even criticizing the man. A lot of people abuse the man every day. He has never, Fayose abused him, even wished him death. Never for once was it touched. So, guys, the truth is, and I hope Mr. Israel is listening and probably we have more questions and probably responses to give, that the grounds are there for a legal arrest. And one thing that happened in this last week that people did not take note of, after I was granted bail, although under stringent conditions, then they said they are going to remand him in prison. Right? They will remand him in prison till he fulfills the bail. Do you know what his lawyer did? His lawyer begged the court that no, they should keep him with the DSS. But I thought DSS were wicked to him. That he was looking for every way to escape the DSS. If the DSS were that bad, then the moment he saw an opportunity to escape them and go to prison,
normal prison,
I would have taken it now. But you can see again, I want to believe, and he said it the first time he was arrested, that they've been treating him well. So, but the law is the law, and we should not only beg the law when things do not suit us.
No, but people do say that Buhari himself called for revolution.
Yes.
And even Tinubu?
Yes. In 2014, after the Egyptian revolution, Buhari said, and I'm paraphrasing, that just like the Egyptians had the revolution, Nigeria is indeed in need for a revolution. But the revolution Nigeria needs is through the ballot. And so therefore, I urge, in his word, every Nigerians on the February, I think it was 13th then, before it was postponed, on February 13th, to go all out and cast their vote. So there was a context to that, equating, when you are commenting on a social event that has happened, that of course there was a revolution in Egypt, but of course Nigeria needs a revolution. But what we need to do now is to go and vote. We don't need to do it
revolution through the ballot
box. Then those who are saying Tinubu called for revolution, the video is there. It was in I think it was in Osun State or Ibadan. It was in one of the southwest states where he particularly mentioned that. And what he said was, he said Nigeria needs common sense revolution. And he was asking certain indexes and parameters, economic parameters of how people were faring, and said, so you see now that you need what? To go and vote out this government. Now, if during the election, Sowore has said Nigeria is in need of a political, economic revolution, people would have said, okay, he's campaigning.
For example,
because there would have been a context.
I'm always talking about revolution too, but it's ethical revolution, revolutions of values. That's what we've been talking about.
I hope we will get there to really talk about it, and why his effort was started on the basis of futility in the first place, and that futility is what made it foolish, because it took risk for absolute nullity. It took risk for nothing at all. And people say it's his method. Yes, I agree. But like we have said, a man who takes a route must understand the consequences that comes with the route.
Nnamdi Kanu, for example, also took a position like that, and he didn't stand for the consequences.
You see someone like Nnamdi Kanu.
But he escaped.
He escaped.
So he escaped the consequences too.
But the consequences was what came to those who followed them. How many of them died?
But people will say, the people who died are not the people who organized, who were to blame. It is Nnamdi Kanu who was to blame, but they never did anything to Nnamdi Kanu, but they killed innocent people. But that is what I personally call foolishness. That is the point of foolishness that I was saying. Yes. If you will take a decision that will lead to the death of innocent people, you are being foolish.
Yes.
Because it's not you, and then if you will take a decision, then you will not stand up to your decision, you are being foolish. If you take a decision and then you run away from the consequences of your decision, then you are being foolish. So that is what I call foolish bravery. So it's not the bravery that is commendable, it's bravery that is that is condemnable.
In fact, there was no bravery. I think we should let Mr.
There is no bravery.
There's no bravery in this. It was pure foolishness from beginning. And a lot of people will not like what I'm saying. I don't mind it not being liked. But at the end of the day, one thing I love about truth is it always comes back to validate. It always comes back to vindicate. Because time is beautiful. Time reveals everything. And it will be clear. If it's not clear to you now, it will be clear over time that everything was just foolishness, because it would not have amounted to anything, and I will analyze it and show you.
Before we give the word to Mr. Israel, though, he made a point in his previous question.
Yes, sir.
He said that Nigeria is such a lawless state already,
yes, sir,
that only when you do something unlawful, especially violence, that's when they take note of your demand.
But he must understand that in every state, government is the custodian of violence. Government is the only legal custodian of violence.
Who has the right?
Who has the right to foment violence at any point.
And go unpunished.
And go unpunished in most cases. Now, they may be punished in retrospect after they've left office. But while they are yet in office, they hold the legal sole right to to violence. Now, I agree with him that even the police force, and that's where sometimes, I know I was speaking with Laolu, Oriowo. I spoke with him in Nigeria and we spoke extensively. I agree with him. One of my major fears is the unprofessionalism of the Nigerian police force. And we may want to blame Buhari all we like, but the question will be, at what point has the Nigerian police force been good? At what point have they been professional? So it's not like maybe Buhari came there and spoiled it. The maximum you can accuse him of is that he has not bettered their
which he had
state.
done.
Let's even agree that he has not. But the point is that the barbarity of the Nigerian police force. Small dissidents, they meet it with almost maximum force. Then, you now say, you now want to call on revolution in itself, which in itself already depicts violence. Because it's like people don't know the meaning of revolution. Revolution is a sudden change in government.
Yeah, so what is revolution? Especially political.
Political revolution, yes, sir. It's a sudden change in government. So you cannot. It's very sudden. It's the attempt in itself is to grasp, to grab power,
violently overthrow, and dismiss, overthrow.
Yes,
a ruling, legitimate government.
So not just the government, but this structure.
The system of government.
The system of government. So, but you have a party that is in that structure. So let's say you want to take power away from all of those who are in power. How exactly are you going to do that? Even if you don't bring force, the government will protect itself with force, which would mean that you will eventually resort to force.
Or violence.
Or violence. Because by the time the police start shooting, I will be the first to admit they are barbaric.
There will be casualties.
There will be casualties. You too will start throwing stones. And the funny thing is that a stone is a weapon. A gun is a weapon. But only one you can't compare the two. But at the end of the day, it will be recorded that you had weapons.
You mean like in Israel?
Yes.
The Palestinians. They don't have weapons, they don't have anything, but they are the ones suffering. They are the ones going to prison, not the Israeli government.
Yes. No, while that is condemnable, and also the Nigerian police force in many cases condemnable, but we are saying, since you already know this is how they are, don't you think the kind of risk you take should be calculated? Don't you think in taking certain type of risk, you should think not just about your own readiness to suffer, but to think about the pain you will inflict on others as a result of your supposed bravery. Because you bring this now, you cannot win the government. You can't win the state. How much is your party? You did not even have 30,000 votes, which means out of that 30,000, not all of them will be ready to follow you to the street.
Now they are saying they cannot find 100 million.
You now want to stand against
for bail.
You can't find 100 million.
And you are saying you want to rule the country?
So you should have thought. You should be thinking of the people who will bear the consequences with him, who are not ready, who are not as ready as he was, and that's why it's foolish.
And he himself is not ready. That is why it's foolish bravery too.
I even want to
if
give
he's
him
been
the
ready,
benefit
now
of
is
doubt.
that people cannot even get him out.
I just want to give him the benefit of doubt.
Anyway, let's go back to Mr. Israel Balogun. Hello, sir, Mr. Israel Balogun. We have made our own point here. We want to hear your own.
I almost thought maybe I'm forgotten here.
Hello, Israel.
Hello, can you hear me, DSA?
Yes.
I say I almost thought maybe I've been forgotten that I'm here.
Well, I'm not alone this time. I have Mr. Babishaye here, and he is very passionate about these matters.
Okay, so many points have been made from DSA and Mr. Babishaye, which I think they are valid, they are good points that everybody needs to look at. And also, before I take us to the video of DSA that prepared this program initially, I would love to challenge some of the things that have been said so far. One of it is to say that what I call him, Sowore is calling for violent revolution. That statement is on an assumption. It's on an assumption because there is no any charges at moment that shows that he was in possession of ammunition. There's no charges at the moment that prove that he is soliciting for ammunition or is demanding for ammunition against the government. There's no charges against him that prove that he wants to take arm against government. There is no charge.
There is a charge of treason against him.
There's a charge of treason, but in his charges.
But you are talking about arm. But it's not only arm that makes you to commit treason, though.
I'm not saying there's no charge of treason, but the calling for revolution that is going to be violent is what I'm trying to say, that it cannot be substantiated. Because violence, as it is, of course, they may term whatever anybody does in Nigeria, and I'm going to say a lot of some things now that maybe you get to know that this is a country where side of the ruling party, no matter what you say, no matter how gentle or how coordinated you said it, it can never be right statements. If you say it rightly, better, or whatever way you say it, if it's not favoring the government, you are not saying the right thing. Let me also say this, because the Buhari government itself has benefited from its foolishness before now. The Jonathan government benefited from its foolishness before now. And when he was saying all those foolish statements on their behalf, he was never arrested for saying those things. I want to also say, knowing which way, okay, let me say, I am so happy that we both agree on the fact that the love of Sowore for Nigeria is undoubtable. This passion for the greatness is not doubted. You cannot doubt it. Thank God. But where we have problem now is method. Is how. The way he's going about it. But may I ask you one more? Which how works in Nigeria? Which method? Have you ever seen anyone who respond to dialogue in Nigeria? Mention one committee set up over issue to address a national problem in Nigeria that has ever yielded a result. Just one committee.
Not too young to run.
That this committee, not too young to run, was never championed by government. It was championed by, it was a bill provided by a set of people.
Okay, how did it become law?
It became law because somebody championed the law.
And who did they negotiate with?
But what I'm
Wait. How did it become law? Who made it law? People.
Hold on. Let me explain to you, sir. Let me explain to you. What we are dealing with now does not even have to do with issue of promoting bill. Bill can be promoted.
No.
Bill can be promoted anytime. People have been promoting bill.
The idea of a bill.
I'm talking about issue that address problem in Nigeria.
The idea of a bill is that there's an issue on ground, and we want to solve it via policy to make it a law. And so you bring up such ideas and you take it to the National Assembly, and they consider it. And once that has been considered and it passes, it becomes a law. It means legally this issue has been solved. And so once we talk about, and you see, that bill we spoke about now is one of the things that gave me hope most about Nigeria. That if things are championed rightly, that there is actually nothing in that Nigeria that cannot be solved. Now, what is the problem? Can't we use the same idea that those who champion Not Too Young to Run used?
Now,
because you just said in absolute that there is no order. in whatever sense.
Let me say this, Dr. Victor.
Yes, please, sir.
The issue we are addressing now is an issue that affect them in particular. Okay, you go and champion a bill that limits age of president to 50 years and see if it will pass. Or go and champion a bill that limits the age of president that will not give them opportunity to go for a senator to go for more than 2 times. Go and champion a bill that will see if it will pass.
But that is democracy. That is democracy. In democracy, the minority will have their say and the majority will have their way. It's the beauty of democracy. The fact that it does not pass does not mean I should not go through.
Dr. Victor.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Victor, I need to define a majority to you in Nigeria. Maybe you need to know majority in Nigeria.
Please, sir.
There's no majority in Nigeria. Only majority you have in Nigeria is the few that can throw money around. They are the majority.
Okay. Why are they the majority?
Let me answer. Only the majority you have in Nigeria are the little among us who has access to power, who can tell you what to do, and they can control the police, they can control the military. They are the majority. There's no majority in Nigeria. Forget Nigeria about majority. In Nigeria, you cannot go to say that we have the numbers, therefore we are going to have the result. How many Nigerians have been demanding? Okay, do you know how many Nigerians have been demanding for government to review the payment? Do you know how many petitions have been written? Do you know how many people have been
to review what? I didn't get you, sir.
Payment of senators.
Payment of senators.
Do you know how many people have been clamoring? Do you know? Okay. Now listen. Majority you want is in civil service. Why is it taking government not to listen to the majority in civil service that they need to increase the money of the workers? But when they wanted to increase the money of senators, it did not take them more than 2 weeks to pass the bill. There's no majority in Nigeria.
Can I respond to that?
When you say majority champion a cause in Nigeria, let me tell you. When you say majority champion a cause in Nigeria, it means there are few powerful people who are in support of that idea, therefore it can pass. You want to talk about lobby? You lobby for your idea to be passed. I agree. That is part of democracy, that you lobby. But in a case where you cannot lobby for something that is not, if it's not beneficial, I have a lot of points. You know, all the time you are speaking, I keep quiet and I'm speaking my point. And at this time, I want to give you some of the things I think that have not been verified in what I said. I said knowing how is an issue here. Which how work in Nigeria? Which how? Know how work. Okay. The labor has been demanding, negotiating, meeting with government over increasement of salary for how many months, how many years now? Just to increase 18,000 to 30,000. Is that one a violence? Is that not reasonable enough for government to increase their salary? See, today is still a bill that has not been passed, is still a discussion that has not been verified. But when they intend to increase or demand for the cows of senators, it's just a matter of say it and you have it. Okay, let me say, no place demand for overthrow. Now, I'm saying there's no law that criminalizes the world revolution in Nigeria as we are talking now. No law in Nigeria say if you make use of the word revolution, that you are going to be fined or you are going to be charged for any no law. So if there is such a word has not been stated in our law, either it's a crime in another country, either it's a crime in another nation, but as far as Nigerian nation is concerned, there is no law that says if you say revolution, we need revolution in Nigeria, that you have committed a crime. If such is not made, Buhari after Egypt's revolution, he made the same statement and he did not say 2 ballots. He said the kind of revolution Nigeria will revolution just as Egypt. So if he also demanded for revolution and was not being arrested, why would a man say that Nigeria need a revolution? I am not going to say 100% that Sowore movement or demand for revolution was right. No. I am not going to say his method was absolutely right. I have faults in it as well. But my question, my problem is, if you have one person, just one person to be foolish enough to confront these people, to demand for a good governance, to ask them to make life of the people better. And this man is not running away from the consequence of his action. He has been facing it from the day of military. He has a record of a man who has been persistent. He has been thrown to prison by the military dictators. He has done so many, he has taken so many risks on behalf of this country, he never ran away. And even now in the prison, he's not saying, I'm running away. So to me, because the video, we have still analyzed that video very well. And I want to say here that this kind of message can discourage boldness, readiness to speak out. It can even increase the spirit of silence among people. We should rather help to modify the way we do things than killing the boldness and the readiness of people to challenge the system. Mistake is allowed. I have learned that from PSC every time. We make mistakes, but if you don't make mistake, if you don't make a step, well, I mean, whoever does not do anything will not make mistake. If I'm not doing anything itself is a mistake. Mistake is allowed, but why destroy or condemn the little effort that can bring a better country, a better nation? That is my invitation this evening. And then I am making this statement because I wanted to play the video so that we can deal with that video, hearing what one of the things that BSA said one after the other, and then I can question them one after the other.
All right, thank you. And I'm so sorry for cutting into your talk. Please forgive me. All right, so I have a few...
No fight at all.
Thank you, sir. So there are a few things you mentioned. Of course, many of it, if we delve into it, we will deviate a bit, but I'll just mention a few. I'll just mention a few things about them. Of course, we agree on a general note that Nigeria has no order and is lawless to a fault. But the angle you're coming from takes away responsibility from citizens and place total fault on government, as though the people themselves are lawful, orderly, but they are dealing with a lawless government. As though the people have order and they obey the law and they do things in peaceful, orderly, lawful manner, but it is the government that is their problem. And that was why I was interjecting. Of course, I have apologized for that, and I really am sorry for interjecting. Now, when we talk about majority in a country, there is no country in the world where the elites do not dictate the tune. What has happened in most of these cases is that the elites are in tandem with the general populace in terms of values. Now, when you say only a few people are majority in Nigeria, the question is, how did they attain such majority? Who bought the voice of the people? If it was bought, who sold? What transaction took place? So is it that the mandate of the people was stolen from them, or they willingly relinquished it? What happens when you, Mr. Israel, take an idea to your village and I bring money? And of course, we had good conversations in Nigeria. You remember the lady who was contesting for class governor, who by the words of toxic masculinity, of how a woman should not be the leader, those who wanted to vote for her did what? They came back. Now, how did she lose majority? How did that guy who did not campaign, who had no idea, how did he win majority? Now, these are the issues, and these are exactly where I hope the conversation will lead to, why I have believed that this thing from the start was doomed to fail, and it failed from the beginning, and it was foolish to have even started it. Because you don't approach national issues just on the basis of government. You approach it on the basis of governance. And when we're talking about governance, you cannot exclude the people, the populace. So I want to propose and I want to say that the majority in this case is what the people want. Now, if you tell me the people don't know what they want, it means they've chosen what they want by choosing not to know what they want. And that's exactly how the majority came to be. Now, when you said nothing works in Nigeria in that sense, and that's why I brought up the issue of not too young to run. Not too young to run is an example to me of the hope of a glorious Nigeria that shows when we organize ourselves, speak with one voice, that even though they did not want it, those who were the elite, yet somehow our majority came to play. Because we spoke with one voice, we presented a unified front, and then we got few of these influential people to be at the forefront of the agitation. It means if we can achieve that with just not too young to run, the possibilities are endless for us to achieve so many things. Now we have to talk about the role of civil society organizations in Nigeria, and are they playing real actual roles? We were together at the office in Osun, and we were told to our face what these civil society organizations that register, we were told what they do. Basically, many of them, the only reason why they are registered is for money laundering. But they are adding to the number of CSOs we have in Nigeria who are actually doing nothing. Now, once we have that, how then can we complain of a majority when the CSOs, civil society organizations, and the NGOs that are meant to be helping us chart our course and channel real discussions in the society are not working? When the media is more interested in Big Brother Naija than in real issues of the society. Now, entertainment has its place, and I'm not going to criticize Big Brother Naija in that sense. But once what is meant to be priority has been put at the back seat, and we are majoring now on minor things, then we now complain about majority. No, we saw that birthright. But what I'm saying is that singularly, the fact that not young to run bill worked in Nigeria shows me that a lot more can work, provided the principles that were followed to achieve that are followed. Now, you talk about minimum wage, but the federal government has agreed on minimum wage. What they are trying to find out now is, apart from minimum wage, there's a structure of salary payment for especially people who are above level 6 that has to be agreed on, because it's not like 18,000 times 16. That's not how it works. There's a salary structure. That's what they are trying to negotiate. Now, federal government has its part. Don't forget that state governments have their part. How many state governments in Nigeria have implemented this? Now, the time we spend asking federal government, if we spend just half of that holding our governors to account, maybe we will be better off than where we were, than where we are right now. And then on the issue of what the president said in 2011, what the president said in 2011, and I challenge you, sir, to go back and read that, not so we don't do that for the sake of argument. He spoke on the 18 days they did, that time that had not even turned violent. They did 18 days straight peaceful revolution, and he was saying there's a whole lot to learn from them, but that Nigerians don't have to do it the way Egyptians have done that, because we can do ours through the poll. And he was saying that the election is coming, go out and vote. Please, let's not rewrite history for the sake of argument. You see, all of these things are open to fact check. I try not to be emotional with my argument. I try to be online. So you can fact check me, and if I lie, you can bring that up for another discussion. It was on the basis of we can do our own revolution via the polls. So please go out and vote. And that was exactly what he said. So that is where I will rest for now.
Yes. Now, let me respond to my own position, why I said it's foolish bravery. Frankly speaking, emotionally, on an emotional level, and sentimental level, I have the same feeling as Sowore. And I understand him like no man's business. I understand him perfectly. If to just follow my emotions, I would have done the same thing. I would have just gone after the government. I would have just, disrupted the government, and I would have caused any kind of revolution, remove the people, put them in jail, do what Jerry Rollins?
Yeah.
Jerry Rollins did in Ghana. Just go ahead and remove all these people, get rid of them, get rid of all the older generation of people that ever ruled in Nigeria. But maybe not kill them, but do something in Europe. They call something lustration. Go and do lustration of them. Go and eliminate them, that they will never participate in government again. Anybody that has ever been in government, and ever held any government position, they must be removed. Let other people come. That's what I would have done if I had my way. But that is emotionally. So emotionally, I understand exactly what Sowore is doing. And I understand the people who are supporting him. The people who are supporting Sowore, they are also on the same emotional level of frustration. It is the emotional level of frustration that Sowore has, that the whole Nigerian society has, that is driving Sowore to act like he is acting. But that is where the foolishness also is. Because we don't act by emotions alone. And we don't allow our sentiments to go ahead of our mind and our logics and our common sense. So that's one of the issues that I've always had with Sowore. He is not sitting down to count the cost. He is not doing what Jesus said we should do. And what Jesus said we should do is that if anybody is going to a war, you shouldn't even go until you sit down first, calculate and count the cost. And unless you are sure that you are able to win that war, don't even start it. Don't even go against the people you are opposing. But because of the emotions, because of the zeal, because of the passion, because of the sentiments of, giving Nigeria a better life and a better standard of living, which is consumed Sowore, just like it's consumed a lot of other people, he has allowed that emotion and that passion to outrun his logic and his common sense. And that's why, I say it's foolish bravery. Whenever you don't calculate to the end the cost and the consequences of your actions, and whenever you now do things that will put other people into jeopardy and yourself, then that is where the foolish bravery is. But you want to see the video.
Before we see the video, okay. I think he has something to say.
Okay, so Mr. Israel wants to say something. Wait. Let's give you the microphone first. Hello, are you still there, Mr. Israel? I can't hear you. Are you there? Hello? Nada включить, вы это ты должна включить. Там внутри. Не телевизор, а внутри. Okay, let's see. I don't know why we can't hear your voice. Hello? I can't hear you still.
Oh.
Hello, yeah, we hear you now. We hear you now. Yes.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, thank you very much, sir. It's a privilege that DSA has proven that what they say about is nobody questions you, that you don't tolerate that. And here you are, I'm spitting my saliva at your face. And then you are still welcoming my stupidity or whatever I'm doing. And then thank you also, my brother, Dr. Victor. This has to be done, So we have to do it. When we have not even started the program because we are still just paraphrasing or the video we want to deal with really.
Before we watch the video, sir,
is what we're about to.
Yeah, before we watch the video, I have just a simple question. I think two submissions. Someone was saying that what's the difference between what Sowore is saying and the Orange Revolution in Ukraine? Okay. But that person does not know or is not putting in mind that even during the Orange Revolution, people were arrested. And the basis for the Orange Revolution was a national rigging, which was clear.
And also, it was peaceful. It was not to overthrow the government. It was to demand for our legal right of the election must be counted.
Counted again.
Yes.
That was the basis.
And it was counted, and we were right because we had more votes.
1, 2. In the US today, with all of their problems, the US is like they're having 5 problems every hour. Will anybody say, let there be a revolution against Donald Trump?
There are a lot of people who want to overthrow Donald Trump, but they know the only way to do it is through impeachment.
Impeachment!
The legal way.
So it's not about not even getting the guy out of office, but the question is, are there legal means to do that beyond the rhetorics of revolution that this man has brought?
If we keep on raising
I just brought that
answers to the questions they are raising,
yes, sir.
We will not face our own objective. So let's go to do the video.
The video now. Yeah, I just wanted to mention
Dr. Victor, let people, everybody can say their mind on the comment. I don't think we should be responding to their point of view. To their point of view, it's not need, because everybody will keep on saying their own. But we should just focus on this program, because it's like, to me, we have not even started the program.
Yes, please, sir.
The real issue, the video we have to talk about is what I wanted to talk now, to play now. And then this I want us to play the video, because we are likely going to play everything.
Okay.
Every statement, every point made, when BSA make the first point, they should stop.
Why don't we just listen and write? Why don't we just be writing the points down and listen one time, so that once we finish listening, we write all the points down, and then we'll take all the points one by one.
All right, good one.
That is more orderly than stopping every time.
Okay, good one, sir.
Okay, let's do the video. Hello, Nigerians. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about a topic that will create definitely some controversy with a section of the Nigerian population. I'm speaking to you today about the uneasy bedfellows of Sowore and Nnamdi Kanu. These are two personalities that are well known in Nigeria, and especially Sowore, thanks to his participation in the last presidential election. But the problem that I have with this uneasy alliance is because of who Nnamdi Kanu is. This is worrisome. Nnamdi Kanu has proven himself to be an unstable personality, in my humble opinion. Now, I know there are people who follow him, there are people who see him as a leader, I know there are people who respect him, but I'm not among those people, I'm sorry. I cannot respect a person that is exploiting nationalism for self-gain. And the way is, I don't know, I think the guy has lived outside of Nigeria for some time. I know he lived in England. But if you have lived in Europe for as long as I have done, for 33 years, you will know that nationalism is generally frowned upon. Actually, to tell you the truth, that practice of bringing nationalism to politics and to national matters is regarded as an act of primitiveness, something that is being done by people who don't have better ideas, genuine ideas or progressive ideas. Nnamdi Kanu has put himself in the company of people like Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and people like that, people who exploited nationalism to push innocent people to death. And that's what Nnamdi Kanu has done. No, he's not just planning to do it, that's what he has done. He pushed his people, innocent people, to death while he cowardly runs away. He ran for his life. And you know, when I did my last address to the Yoruba nation, a lot of my Igbo brothers came online and started telling me that I was a coward because I was telling the Yoruba people not to fight. They would say, you Yorubas are cowards, and this is a coward. Because I said, we don't need a war. So you think that what Nnamdi Kanu is doing, that is bravery? That is cavalry? No, that is not bravery, because if it is bravery, why didn't he stand with his people to fight? But rather pushing innocent people to lose their lives while he runs for his life. The same thing that Dumego Ojukwu did. Is that bravery? There is no need for foolish bravery, stupid bravery, bravery that will make you to, waste the lives of other people while you escape. Is that bravery? Why do you need that kind of bravery? Some people are always talking about the Yorubas being cowards because we don't want to do foolish acts like putting people out there to kill them. I think the Igbo people have better leaders than Nnamdi Kanu. I personally know better Igbo intellectuals who are well respected. But because of this belief in boldness, like the kind of boldness that Nnamdi Kanu is displaying, that is what is making a lot of people to follow him. But let's leave he and his people alone. That's their choice. But another reason why I can never imagine Sowore associating himself with Nnamdi Kanu is because of the way Nnamdi Kanu is speaking derogatorily against other Nigerians and against Nigeria in general. And Nigerians, calling Nigerians all kinds of derogatory names. I don't even want to repeat them. But Nnamdi Kanu is actually being accused of committing treason right now against Nigeria. And this is not just a fallacy, that is just a persecution. There is a video where Nnamdi Kanu was pleading for arms. He is ready to take arms against his nation. He will never succeed. All the people who are supporting Nnamdi Kanu today, just know, either you believe or you don't believe, either you like what I'm saying or you don't like what I'm saying, he will never succeed. Because in this modern world that we're living in, anybody that takes arms against a sovereign nation will never be recognized. This is not some jungle of the dark centuries or even 18th century or even 19th century. It will never be recognized by any civilized nation. Some Biafrans still blame the UK and America for not supporting Biafra mission because people who are civilized will not support insurgency that is, that is based on armed struggles and derogatory wars against other people. If you want your interest, you want your nation to go, you want Biafra to go, do it in a civilized manner. Don't do it at the expense or at the cost of other nationalities, so that you will not have hatred and reprisals from other nations in the country. Because I see, if you listen to Radio Biafra, the language of Nnamdi Kanu, he is spreading hate. He spreads hate and hatred against other nationalities in Nigeria. And I am, as a Nigerian, as a proud Nigerian, I am not going to stand there and listen to that and consume that and just close my eyes and close my mouth. No. I'm going to stand against hate. I'm going to stand against it. He is not a respected fellow at all. It's mind-blowing to even think that he has anybody following him. And for Sowore, who claims to be a progressive, to go and associate himself with such a person, show me your friends and I will show you who you are. And there's someone that is, cooking up malicious stories like Jubril from Sudan story, Jubril from Sudan. I mean, how can anybody follow such a guy? He's lost it. Jubril from Sudan. Can you believe it? Now, where is that Jubril? And anybody in their common sense is following this kind of guy? And Sowore is going to have to have friendship with him? No. Sowore should know better. Sowore has to know better than that. And I'm afraid that this association of Sowore with Nnamdi Kanu is going to give him a whole lot of problems. I'm afraid it's going to land him in a whole lot of trouble. I'm not going to be surprised if the security system in Nigeria is going to be going after Sowore right now. But why should you put yourself in such a danger? Sowore also could come out and say, well, I'm bold, that's why. I am ready for a revolution. I can fight. I want to fight. We just spoke about the boldness of Nnamdi Kanu or Ojukwu. Is that the kind of boldness you want to do? Oh, no, I want to waste my life. Why should you waste your life? When, if you have an agenda, do it in a civilized manner. Sowore, you started this movement, take it back. Everybody, most people, most youth in Nigeria, were positive about it, especially most diasporans, got behind you. And now you are going from being a political platform to becoming reactionary. I personally support Sowore. I see you as somebody that is very progressive, and I support you. But you are now going to do this revolution now. You know what revolution means? Our country right now, we don't need any civil disobedience. We don't need any violence right now, because what I know that this group of people, Sowore and Nnamdi Kanu, they are now campaigning and recruiting different groups of people who are dissatisfied with the nation, who are not happy with what is going on. We are all not happy. But what they are planning, and I know this for sure because some of their people have contacted us, I've contacted my friends, and they are trying to gather people together in major cities in Nigeria to be, from all over Nigeria to stage major protests that will last for 90 days. So that they will paralyze the economy. If you paralyze the economy, who will gain from that? People will only become poorer. If you do your revolution now, what is that going to bring to people? It's going to lead to another bloodshed. Is that what we need now? We have enough bloodshed in Nigeria. We have enough bloodshed in Nigeria. So please, I'm appealing to Sowore to think about this relationship that he's having with Nnamdi Kanu. Because right now, look at the group that is coming together to organize this revolution now, or the protest. You have Nnamdi Kanu and his iPod group. You have Sowore and his breakaway group from his party. I wonder what's happening to Sowore. Is it because of his loss in the presidential election that he couldn't explain? Or is it because of the crisis? Is him being excluded from his party? Why should you be reactionary? I know you've always been an activist, but to join yourself with somebody that is taking arms against the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Think twice, brother. And I also want to challenge and use this opportunity to appeal to the Nigerian youth that is following this group of people, that is following Nnamdi Kanu, that is following Sowore. They have passports. Sowore has American passport, or at least residence permit, and Nnamdi Kanu has British citizenship. You don't have any passport. When violence breaks out, who will be shot at? Who will be killed? Who will be put in prison? It will be you, guys. Think. Nigerian youth, think. And apart, like I said, who are the people coming together to organize this protest? They want to this breakdown of Nigeria, this revolution. Nnamdi Kanu and iPod, Sowore and his breakaway group, Shia Muslims, the Shia Muslims that we know who have already been protesting, and some of them have already been imprisoned and shot at. They have a reason to be dissatisfied and to do civil unrest. Then what is another surprising thing is CAN, some group in CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, are joining them. And of course you have the PDP looters who are ready to sponsor, the money bags are ready to sponsor all this violence and disobedience. Listen, guys, Nigeria doesn't need violence right now. We need to get and put pressure on the president and his APC, party to come together with them and have them act. And if they don't want to act, we get them, we put pressure, we keep on putting pressure on them until they sit at the table to have us resolve the security challenges in our country. But as the case is right now, violence is not the answer. Even revolution is not the answer. And I'm talking to you as somebody who lives in a country where we're in the part of the world where revolution is the order of the day. Okay, you know about the Lenin Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution, all right? You know the Stalin, about Yusuf Stalin and their revolution, the Communist Revolution. You know about the Orange Revolution, which I played a very leading role in, and Maidan Revolution. And I know what our revolution is and what revolution could lead to. Nigeria doesn't need it now. It's not because of cowardice, believe me. It's not that I'm coward, all right? I've led revolution in a foreign country. But revolution is possible, you know, if there are conditions that will not, you know, make that revolution to become bloody and make our people to even suffer the more. But the kind of revolution people are gathering and this kind of group that are coming together to, you know, to do this kind of protest is spelling danger for our beloved country. What concerns you, some people will say? What's your own problem in that you don't live in Nigeria? Well, if not for Nigeria, I would not be where I am today. And if not for Nigeria, I would not even be standing here. If not for Nigeria, the world will never know who Sunday Adelaja is. I care about my native land. I care for my country. And I'm a proud Nigerian. And I'm coming back to make Nigeria truly great. Not as a politician, but just as a citizen and as an ambassador of the kingdom of God. For the love of God, church, and nation. Peace. Thank you so much. Oh, stop. Master Move. Hello. Okay, we are back. I hope Mr. Israel is back as well. Mr. Israel, are you there? Are you back? We are going to give you the permission to go ahead and, you know, because we just showed the video. I hope you have your points and your questions right now. So please go ahead, Mr. Yes. Israel.
Hello, dear sir. Can you hear me, please?
Very well.
Okay, good one. Thank you very much, dear sir. I'm going to skip the part of Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
Because I don't have interest in his actions. I personally condemn, and I'm not going to join foot with his action.
Okay.
And also, I'm going to accept the wrong of Sowore in associating himself with such fellow. I agree that that is foolishness on his part. And also, I will say that as foolish as he has acted, that has not nullified other things he has done that I think personally are going to be beneficiary to Nigerians if, though he has done it in the proper and the right manner. So on those things he has done, that I think, though there are some wrong move that would have nullified the right path, but writing it off totally, not what I think is right. And that is one. Secondly, Nigeria also, as it is an abnormal society. That if anyone wants to make a noise or want to make a want to make a change around to say, you must be ready to behave abnormally. Nobody in this country understands normal language. When you tell pastors that what they are doing is wrong, you call them to conference, you lock them up in a hall, tell them the truth for 7 days, lock them up and send them out. They will say they will look sober to you. On Sunday, they will play the same wrong message until you tell them to their face in the public that you people are thieves. That is when they listen and they hear. So, nature of the news. And then, what I want to say here is that you said 90 days of protest will paralyze the economy of Nigeria. When in 2012, Nigeria economy was paralyzed for the whole week. I was part of those people who protest from Monday to Friday. Is it Monday to Friday or Saturday? The next Monday we met soldiers at our protest ground. The protest led by Pastor Tunde Bakari. The Nigeria economy was paralyzed for the whole week. Nigeria lost billions of naira, and Nigeria was able to save the country from removing subsidy totally from petroleum at that point. Not because the subsidy is supposed to remain there, but what Nigeria was demanding for them was the subsidy removed from kerosene and diesel as normal. If you remove this subsidy now under the government of Jonathan, they know that the money will still be siphoned. The nation will be in jeopardy. So people protested and we returned the subsidy. I mean, when Buhari removed it, not totally, at least removed partially, people did not protest because they trusted him that he will not misuse the money. But Nigeria paralyzed the economy in that year, and it was Nigerians that benefit from it. So you said here that you want to paralyze the economy. If Nigeria economy needs to be paralyzed for 90 days for Nigeria to be better, for us to bring sanity to this country, DSA don't you think that is not a too much sacrifice to pay?
Okay, I will answer your question. My thinking is that if you paralyze Nigeria's economy for 90 days, that is not for 7 days or for a week, from Monday to Friday. 90 days is for 3 months. If people are not working for 3 months in Nigeria, everybody in the street, everything is paralyzed. We are complaining right now that Nigeria has become the poorest country in the world and the country with the largest number of poor people. What will happen to those poor people? It will not be the rich who will be suffering. It will not be Asorok who will be suffering. It will not be the president or the politicians. They have their money. They will be going to the hotel and be eating there. But it will make the situation of the very same people we are fighting for to be worse. And people cannot even eat 3 square meals right now. When there will be no production whatsoever, then they will not even be able to afford 1 day, 1 square meal. I mean, 1 meal. If they will not be able to do that, we'll be reaping the harvest of death and sickness and calamities and infant mortality. There will be people who will not be able to give birth because the hospitals will be shut down. There will be people who will be dying of sicknesses, diseases, cancer, operations, surgery will be cancelled. The women that want to give birth cannot give birth. The children that are just giving birth to cannot be treated. You know, too much calamities it will bring to the nation. There is no amount of good you want to do that evil could be justified. Evil cannot be justified for any good purpose. The cause, I mean, people say the means justify, the cause justifies the means. The end justifies the means. But, the end cannot justify an evil means. When the means itself is evil, then the end doesn't matter anymore. But that is one thing. But on the other hand, I want to also say concerning Sowore that, frankly speaking, I would have liked the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to weigh into the situation with Sowore and give him pardon, state pardon. Because, but Sowore also has to be talked to. He has to, because if they release him and he's going to do the same thing again, then it's better for him to be reminded in prison. But if he will have a retort, if he will have a second thought and he will change his methods and his rhetorics, I will ask for the federal government of Nigeria to forgive him, because I know his love for the nation. I know his passion for the country, and his family is suffering, and his mother is there watching all that, and he could contribute more constructively to Nigeria. That is my own personal belief. I think that he must be pardoned. Anyway, but moving forward, yeah, I think I will not go out of your question. Your question is, won't it be worth it? Would it be good if, things are sacrificed for that 90 days? I said no. That's my point.
Okay. Dr. Victor, do you want to ask something before I raise the question?
Thank you. I think the basic issue here is either are we talking of sacrifice in terms of a protest or sacrifice in terms of
90 days. 90
bringing
days.
the economy down for 90 days? You know, those are two different things. Because if you say you want to bring the economy down for 90 days, like DSC has said, to what end? To what end? But if you're talking of a protest, I think there are so many things to be protested in Nigeria. And to call for sacrifice for protest is not a big deal in itself. And protests have been taking place over and over, and nobody has quelled them. But this issue of, there's a point where it leaves ordinary protest to become economic sabotage. And there's no government, no responsible government will watch ourselves to be sabotaged economically. And even the protest in 2012, if you remember, the aim was not to disrupt the economy. The aim was to get the government to rescind the decision they took on a particular subject. So it just happened that way. And the moment they called for dialogue, the protest stopped and issues were being discussed in broad daylight. So that's my take on it, sir.
Okay, I'm sure he has more questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes. I want to also say that I saw the prophecy in that video, and the prophecy happened the same way.
What prophecy?
SARS. You said in that video that you hope DSS will not be coming after Sowore right now. One could have been thinking maybe you are the head of DSS, and then maybe you are the one that give them information that it is time to go after.
Oh, well, I think it doesn't mean that we're having internet connection challenge.
Yeah.
They're talking about
DSS.
DSS, because I said it, that the Secret Service will come after it, because I just know how nations work. The prophecy is not the prophecy. I didn't say God told me, but I just know how nations that are organized work. And if they don't even arrest him in Nigeria, I know that it's because of the failed system of Nigeria. From what I heard him saying, if he had said that in America, they would have been arrested. If he had said that in Europe, he would have been arrested. So I know that is just the normal thing that should happen. So what do you think about the prophecy according to what he said?
No, like you said, is the normal thing that should happen. And that was why I asked the question at first that if Sowore was
not
president,
a prophecy after all.
Yeah, if Sowore was president and Buhari or even Atiku did the same, what would he have done? So it's just normal way of our government functions. So that's my opinion on that. I think I align with you, dear sir.
Okay. So, well, what are the things that you would like to say before he comes back? Because he has his own question, and I'm sure you still have your own thoughts that you'd like to address.
Yes. When we're talking about, maybe I could quickly drop this in on why some of the reasons why I think that it's been a foolish.
You wanted to talk about revolution.
Bravery,
also,
yes. Is that did he put into context fully what revolution means, and again in the context of Nigeria? Now, what does it take to get a revolution done? Did Mr. Sowore put that into consideration? Is it together with the elite? Are Nigerians as harmonious as we would want them to be for a revolution to take place? Are the people, the majority of the people, are they really disaffectionate with the government? If they are disaffectionate with the government, are they affectionate to him? So, okay, it's enough to say, it's not enough to say majority of Nigerians don't like Buhari, but it will be enough to say that majority of Nigerians will follow a Sowore who wants to lead the revolution. Has Mr. Sowore gone back to history to check the revolutions that have taken place all over the world and see if they were the real answers to the anthropological issues, to the issues that were facing the people of that nation at that particular time? The nearest example to us is Ghana. In Ghana, they took most, if not all, but majority of the political class who were really deciding things, locked them in a place and massacred all of them. And it will seem as though the problem of Ghana should have gone with that generation. But today I want to ask you, bearing population difference, apart from the difference in population, what is today the big difference between Ghana and Nigeria? And many of you will talk about electricity. And I want to let you know that Nigeria generates more electricity, distributes more electricity than Ghana.
No,
the only difference is that Ghana has a lesser population and electricity.
No, even with the lesser population, despite the fact that Nigerian population is about how many times? About five times bigger than that of Ghana. Yeah. Still, despite all our troubles, the standard of living per capita is still higher with Ghana. 200 million in Nigeria than in Ghana. The standard of living in Ghana is the per capita is just 1,700. Dollars per year, and Nigeria is going to almost 4,000. So yes, despite the fact that large population, the economy of Lagos alone rivals the economy of the whole country of Ghana. So don't let even go there.
Yeah. So, but the point that brought me there is that it will seem as though when Rawlings did away with the political class that year, that the problem of Ghana went with them. And that's what I was saying, that the foolishness comes from not understanding that the problem of Nigeria is the average Nigerian. So if you want to lead a protest to change Nigeria, you want to lead a revolution to change Nigeria, you cannot tell me you are serious when you're talking about political revolution. You must I will know you are serious, take you serious, when you are leading movements to change the mind of the average Nigerian. Because you take away this political class, who are the ones that are going to be in it. Now, time is so beautiful, DSA. Time is so beautiful. And I would love to have this discussion with you, DSA.
Yep.
If they can bring the camera to you.
Yes.
Before the 2019 election, Sowore was in which party?
I don't think he had a party.
Then he formed one through the Take It Back movement.
Yes.
After the 2019 election, what happened to that party?
His party was divided. He split.
He split.
Yeah.
Now, they are calling him bad, and he's calling them what?
Bad.
Bad. But before
they are
election,
actually accusing him of corruption.
But before the election, he wanted us to believe that he was the savior of Nigeria, and the people around him.
Yeah.
They were the savior of Nigeria.
Yeah.
But after the lost election, it was now clear to us that there are two sets of people. We now do not know who is good or who is bad. But what we are saying is that before the election,
the same problem that they were charging and accusing the older parties of APC, PDP, they were also manifesting the same symptoms.
Now, before election, did they make us believe that we had that same problem?
No. They were the holier than thou.
Now, this is exactly what I'm saying. That even if he leads a revolution and succeeds in pushing these ones out,
taking over the government,
who are those that are going to form government with him? What sanctimony can he hold on to?
So if he's been accused of corruption before even he becomes the head of state, what about if he becomes the head of state? And he's not just been accused of corruption, he's been accused of totalitarianism. He's been accused of dictatorship. They said he's the head, he's the treasurer, he's the presidential candidate, he's the chairman, he's the secretary, he's everything. And nobody decides without him. He's just the soul. So, and that is the opposite of democracy that he was campaigning for. And accusing Buhari of dictatorship, when he has at least a chairman of a party, and he allows them to function, he allows parliament to function, he allows everybody to function. Who is the Democrat here?
Yeah. So the whole point there is that before the election, they were the holier than thou. They were the perfect ones. But after the election, there was a split. Now somebody is accusing somebody. It means that one of them is right. At least one of them is right. And if at least one of them is right, it means that if they are taking power, they are the ones who are going to be in charge. Then the question is, what would have changed much for us with the same set of people now throwing accusations?
That is why I am always saying the revolution with this is the value system revolution. All Nigeria is in a mess. All Nigerians themselves are potentially corrupt. All of us have been compromised. And because the whole country has been compromised, we need a values revolution. We need a value system revolution whereby our content, our whole essence will be changed and transformed first before we begin to fight for some political gains and office and position and things like that. It is a situation of changing the value system of all or majority of Nigerians so that we'll be able to stand a chance to present a formidable team of people or release people who will become our leaders. The people we are having as our leaders now are simply the reflection of who we are. That is who we are. If they are corrupt, it means that we are corrupt because our leaders are not separated from us. Our leaders are coming from us. Our leader is only the expression, the image of who we are. Why are we always and constantly producing corrupt people? Because the corruption is in the country itself. So it is the country itself that needs cleansing. And in the area of not of physical revolution, but we need values revolution, revolution of values, revolution of ethics, ethical revolution. That is the kind of revolution we need.
You're absolutely spot on. And that's why anybody who tries to cure symptom, any doctor who tries to cure symptom.
Since you are a medical doctor, you can tell us better.
Living etiology, living cause, either does not know what he's doing or it's only for a short-term management, short-term solution. But the truth is, how many patches can Nigeria take more before it becomes totally obsolete? We need to address what makes the Nigerian. Because, like you said, the leaders, they come out of the people. Okay, sir, you fight for these people, you get power. How then do you make them understand how to live in a sane environment?
And even if you cannot make his own party members to live by the values that he was teaching them, what about when it's a whole country? There will be so many.
I can bet you he taught them no value.
Yeah, because he didn't have time to train them. He just took them into the party. It will be the same mistake that...
And I was asking a question during the election. I said today, then, if you remember this, I said if APC and PDP members, they say today we are going to support Sowore, we are coming to his party. I said, will he reject them? And many people then could not say no, that they are not going to reject them. So if you are not going to reject them, it means your values are the same. It means even you understand that these people, we need them, we need their support. It means you agree with them so that you can get what you want. But if you really want, if you are really sincere about changing the nation, the first thing you will go for in that nation is how do you address what makes these people behave this way? What makes these people do things in this manner? What makes these people these people? Once you address that, then, and it is now in synchrony with your value system, you will need not sweat too much before you even become their leader, before they adopt you, before they push you forward. And this was, I've been saying this before election. DSC has been saying this since 20, I think I met him on this same point. This was the point that drew us closer. The book Nigeria and the Leadership Question, where he was talking about value system.
Yeah, tell them about the port that I wrote about in this book.
Yes, the allegory of the port.
Yes.
Yes.
It's in this book, this Nigeria and the
That if you take a pot and you have a cotton wool and you have a black ink or water dye, and you put the cotton wool, white one, no matter how white it is, you put it in the cotton wool. When you put the white cotton wool in that water, by the time you are bringing it out.
No. If you have a pot,
yes, sir,
that is full of ink,
yes,
or black paint,
yes, sir,
and you have so many balls,
yes,
the white balls, like table tennis,
yeah,
ball, and you put all of them in that black pot with the black content, and you are looking for white one to pick out of the 300
inside
the black pot itself.
Yes.
What is the possibility of you picking a white ball? Yes,
from a black pot.
From a black pot. So the pot is Nigeria.
Yes.
You know, the ink, the black ink, is the corruption.
Yes.
And the people are the ball.
Yes.
So if the country itself is full of corruption, no matter as long as we are all in that pot, we cannot escape it.
That's what makes
and then we are dreaming that a righteous person will come out and just come and change the whole thing. We have to change the content of that pot. We have to first of all remove the paint, the black liquid, and put it and clean the pot and put in white content, liquid that will white, that even anything you put inside, even if it is black balls you put inside, but because of the paint, the white paint inside, it will just turn the black something into white. That is what is more important. That is the value system that we need to bring to Nigeria.
Very correct. Very, very correct, Desi. That analysis since that time made me realize that there is no changing of Nigeria.
By miracle. Of the value system
can be changed.
It's funny.
And many of these people, they think, of course, many of people who talk here and even insult, they don't even live in the Nigeria themselves, so just like we don't. But for some of us,
but at least you just came back from there.
Who go there and get to relate with people, do you know, DSC, and I do not mean this as an insult. For me, when a Nigerian tells me something, I take it to a pinch of salt until he performs.
Yeah, that's good.
But a Ukrainian, even this Ukraine that has not still with all of those values, so will still tell me something and I will believe in and I will hope.
Yeah.
A Nigerian cannot tell me I'll be here by 3 o'clock and I'll wait for him. Because I did that quite a lot and they spot 2 days. 2 days. One particular person spot 2 days. 2 days itinerary because
not 2 hours.
Not 2 hours. He did it on Tuesday.
We have a caller. Hello.
Bonjour, DSC.
How are you, Mr. Innocent?
Thank you so much.
Today it's been hot, though.
The topic is really hot. I couldn't resist. I said, let me call in. This is a very, very, very hot topic. I made a contribution about this when he started this movement. When I saw you first publish one of the videos about, and then Victor started a campaign too. He was trying to address the topic of revolution. So I started laughing out. A lot of people don't know what you said about what's his name, Sowore. Today is true. There are certain ways. What people don't even understand why he's doing it. First of all, what is revolution? There are 3 types of revolution that Nigeria need currently, which we need to identify. The people need to know. There is a cultural revolution, there is a political revolution, and there is an economic revolution. Which one is Sowore talking about? That is what we don't know. We just know that he's an individual to take advantage of the frustration of Nigerians. He knows that Nigerians are not happy with the system, so he's trying to take advantage of their frustration to feed his ego, to feed his agenda, but he's not telling them precisely what he's fighting for. Are you going for the political revolution? Are you going for the cultural revolution? Or are you going for the economic revolution? If it's economic revolution, how do you intend to go about it? What are you providing as the economic solution? What new solution are you providing that we can change the economy? Are you providing capitalist system or socialist system or any system that you're inventing, something that will be implemented? If it's political, what are you proposing? If it's socio-cultural, what are you proposing in the place? He's not talking about that. Nobody knows what he wants. And he just came out and just said, people follow me, let's go and disrupt the government. That is reasonable to me. I like Sowore, I like the energy he has, but I think he's going on about it in the wrong way. I also speak about mobilization and organization. You know, Sowore, but he's not an organizer. He can mobilize 20,000 people, just galvanize them. He has that He has that talent, just like this or that Senator Dino Melai. If you see them, if you study their psychology, you see that the two of them, they use the system of singing to motivate students. They, when they tell you something, they start to sing with you, and that thing touch the student, is reacting. They sing along with them. Is the psychologist they employ to be able to mobilize people. So there's a difference between mobilization and organization. They can mobilize people, fight the government. They can do whatever they want to do, but it will just be an event. But if it's an organized system, you need to provide a systemic solution to the problem. For instance, let's say in the issue of these lecturers sleeping with students, for instance, in the school, we need to make a system in place that first of all, you wouldn't need to first place to ask him to look for an admission for you. It should be an independent body. There shouldn't be any direct contact or any direct favor or demand. A system should be put in place. That's what I'm trying to say. And the second, let's say if you want to stop police corruption problem, police that are stopping bribery, police that are collecting bribe on the roadside, how will you stop it? You cannot go around and be catching the one after the other and prosecuting or locking them up. It will not stop the issue of corruption. You can say, okay, let's replace the police people with toll gate, or the toll gate system, for instance, machines that collect money automatically, or you can pay with your card and remove all the policemen in the roadside. Place cameras so that if there is any amount of money that people need to pay, so that it will go as tax or revenue to the government, let them pay directly to the machine. There will be accountability. There we'll know how much it was collected, who paid what. There won't be any person that will try to siphon the money to go directly into the government account. So if you want to fight corruption, you provide machineries, you provide solutions to them. You're saying, let's follow you and go and do campaign, let's go follow you and destabilize the government. You're not telling us what you're going to do, how you intend to go about it, and you expect the people, the entire nation, to sympathize with you when you are being locked up. I don't think that's very, very, very justified in its own part. So that's all I have to say.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much, Mr. Innocent. Well, Victor, do you have anything to say, to comment on this call?
No, I think the videos we did out there, people can go back and watch it. I think I did about 3. I think he also did some there on YouTube when in the beginning of the whole process. So we did those videos to talk about revolution, the factors that affect revolution, and if the revolution was really necessary in Nigeria. We did those videos then. So I agree with him in many ways.
I'm afraid of saying people should call in. I don't think I'm going to call for calls today because it's going to be fight calls.
Well,
because the ones who want to call will try to call by himself. Okay. Without me calling for one. Okay. I think he's the one who needed it most. Otherwise, I would not call for calls.
Okay.
Yeah, especially. Well, I don't know if you people were with us in the beginning of this program. From the very beginning, if you notice, we had intro into this program. We had intro, and it's a different way. We are starting the program now. We are finishing it a different way. Every day now, I'm going to have a special program that's going to be television standard kind of program with intro, outro, and that's going to have presentations. And so tomorrow we're going to have another one. Every day we're going to have. I will only be coming live 3 times in a week: on Mondays, on Fridays, and on Saturdays. On Mondays, on Fridays, and on Saturdays. The rest of the week we are going to have, live program, but that is already prepared. We teach that has already taken place, but we are going to use them to, you are going to like them. You are going to like it. Meanwhile, this book is the book I recommend for you to read. If you have not read this book, this book changed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Every Nigerian must read this book. And if you have not read it, go get your own copy. And I also have new books. Where are the new books? The one is called The Holistic Personality. Holistic Personality book is it's a book that I would not even recommend you to read. Don't even buy it unless you are ready to go on a solitude or unless you are ready to go on a fast. It is when you are ready to go on a fast and prayer that you should take that holistic personality with you. Or when you are ready to go on a solitude, you shouldn't read that book without a solitude. So if you are ready to go on solitude, then you can take that book with you. Otherwise, don't even touch it because the book is just too much. This is the book here, Holistic Personality. Then there is another, what is the other one? The one I wrote for our independence, the value-driven nation, is the one I wrote to congratulate my country for the 59th independence anniversary. So if you have not read that book too, you can go look for it. It's on Amazon and it's on dsabooksplanet.com, or you could write to my office here, dsabooks@gmail.com. Let me tell you about the programs that we are going to be having on regular basis. They are going to be stable. We are going to be having stable programs, and you can take interest in the ones you want, and you can follow them one by one. So today, the program of today that we're having right now is called My Charge to Nigeria and Nigerians. My Charge to Nigeria and Nigerians. But this book, My Charge to Nigeria, this program, My Charge to Nigeria and Nigerians, is the discussion one that we're having right now. But the real program itself always comes on every Monday in the morning. So in the morning, we have the program, and then in the evening, we have the discussion. So the person who is hosting that discussion with me is Israel Balogun. But since Victor Abamishaye is here, I don't have to miss that opportunity. On Tuesdays, we are going to be having another program that is called Building a New Africa. So most of the things that I'm going to be doing these days will be geared towards Africa and Nigeria. So on Tuesdays, remember this, is going to be Building a New Africa, Building a New Africa. So Monday is My Charge to Nigeria and Nigerians. Tuesdays is Building a New Africa. Wednesdays is Reconstructing Nigeria. Reconstructing Nigeria. Maybe if you want add Nigerians, we have to reconstruct both Nigeria and Nigerians. Yes, but it's called Reconstructing Nigeria. On Thursdays, we have what is called Life's Secrets. Life's Secrets. Life Secrets. That is on Thursdays. On Friday, I will come back live again, just like we used to have Pastoring Without Tears with Dr. Anu. I'll be having this one on Fridays with Dr. Anu as well, but it's going to be called Fixing Nigeria. Fixing Nigeria with Dr. Anu. Fixing Nigeria, just like we're having today with Israel Balogun. We'll be having this Fixing Nigeria with Dr. Anu every Friday. Then every Saturday we are going to be having Ask. Is it Ask every Saturday? We're going to be having Ask every Saturday, and we are also going to be having in the evening, every Saturday evening, a program we call Building a Nation. Building a Nation. Building a Nation. Building a Nation. So yeah, so those are, and every Sunday we are going to be having, I think Sunday is Ask. Sunday is Ask. Sunday is Ask. Saturday is Building a New Nation. Building a Nation. Building a Nation. And Sunday is Ask we are going to be having. So thank you so much. Everybody, Victor, you have to say a few words to our people before we go.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we must really appreciate the fact that there is no discussion without dissent. There are always going to be times we will not agree with each other. But like we said in the beginning of the program, that does not lead to enmity. It's just a different perspective. However, even in perspectives, many times, truth always stands out of perspective. And while during the course of time, we may not understand the full extent of things, but time is beautiful in that it will reveal eventually the true color and nature of things. So there are ways to do things. With any nation, with any leader, you can disagree, but please do not go through the route of treasonable felony, because as of then, your supporters will be online while you will be in the hands of the government if they catch you.
Just like the young man that went and joined Sowore now.
Yeah,
and
21 years old.
Yeah, and he's in detention. I think he's 23 years old.
Yeah. Or like Nnamdi Kanu, he become a fugitive.
And then his people were killed as well.
Yes. But in any case, whatever it is you want to believe you are fighting for, there are people who yet are fighting for that in the right way. And no matter what is being said, will always be right. You can't say maybe a Sowore has more passion for Nigeria than a Femi Falana, who is right now still defending him in court. But yet Femi Falana knows the limit of the law and will not test
Even
it.
Fani, is it
Femi Fani-Kayode?
Yeah, he also has passion like Sowore too, but he's not doing felonious activity.
As much as he even insults
Yeah.
the president many times. So that will be personal injury, but not treasonable felony. So, but well, that's our perspective of the issue on the issues, and we want to thank you for joining us. We always also try to look at what issues, your perspective on the issues. We respect them, and we hope we can keep having respectable conversations beyond today. Thank you.
Well, before we go, I would just like to say no animosity, please. We are not angry with anybody that doesn't agree with us. And people who are insulting in the comment area there, good for you. Insult is the way, is what people do who have lost arguments, who have lost the argument. Or it is what is done by people who don't have the common sense to make their case plain. When they don't have arguments again, they begin to insult. So actually, what that reveals is your content and your limitation. So when you are insulting people, you are not really insulting them, you are insulting yourself, because you are exposing yourself and you are stripping yourself naked. And whenever anybody insults me, it's a compliment to me, because it means that, I always say like this, I rejoice, and it's a compliment to me that fools, abuse me and curse me because they are too foolish to understand my point of view. But if fools begin to clap for me, it means we belong in the same category. But if fools are cursing me and abusing me, I know, well, thank God, that's exactly what I expected from them. So cursing and abusing is not the way out. The way out is to prepare yourself, make your case, and present it in a civilized manner. So no animosity, no anger at anybody. Like I said, even those who are cursing and abusing, this is my response to them. I don't hate them, I don't know anger, and I would like to challenge you. Just make your case, come up with superior arguments. But abusing and using foul words is a sign of weakness, not a sign of strength. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you.